And a very good morning, everyone. For those of you who are awake, it is Friday, the 3rd of May 2019. It's approximately 4:55 a.m. Thanks for joining me. So, as you probably noticed by the title, something got under my skin yesterday. Something got under my skin a lot. Roy West, good morning. Now, I'm one to follow the rules. I'm a by the book kind of guy. I'm the sort of person who doesn't break the rules very often, if or ever at all. We turn the brightness down a bit, conserve some battery. Yeah, so I do the very best I can. Now, I've made this adamantly clear, through many videos. I very seldom, if ever, break rules, and I never compromise the safety of anyone ever. But yesterday this got under my skin, and it didn't at first, but the more I thought about it, the more it pissed me off. And what happened was, I'm down at Piccadilly Circus. For those of you who know Piccadilly Circus well, it's a very busy area, okay? But I've got to the bus stop, and there's a bus in front of me, and I've opened the doors at the bus stop. I've sat there for a while with the doors open at the bus stop. I closed the rear doors, I've closed the middle doors, and I always leave the front door open just that little bit longer while the traffic lights at the end of the bus stop are red. There's no point in closing them too early, because in case someone turns up. So, after making sure that no one is making their way to my bus, I look again and again just to make sure, and I close the front door. Check my mirrors plural, signal my intention to move, and with care and caution, pull away. I had moved about 1.5 feet, and this woman on the outside of the bus sprang out of nowhere and decided to crash on the front door. At which point I stopped the bus and I made her an arm gesture, like that sort of thing, like get off the road, go back to the pavement, because I'm not going to open the door. I'm not going to open the door. There's a few reasons why I'm not going to open the door. The first reason is I had signalled my intention and I'm committed to move in. I had already moved. I'm not going to open the door after I moved and I'm committed to go. Second of all, the silly cow was in the road, albeit about 1 foot into the road, but it makes no difference. She was in the carriageway, and believe it or not, cyclists can actually squeeze down a tiny gap like that like a rat up a drain pipe. Good morning, everyone. I will read comments shortly. So there's that. But I'm still at a set of red. I'm at a red light still. Okay, I've pulled away. The bus in front had moved, and by this time she'd made her way onto the pavement, and I'd managed to pull away, albeit at an angle, to get into lane 2. Safely, might I add. Then, and this is the bit that gets under my skin, this is the bit that got to me. She, along with everyone else who thinks that they're right, and everyone else who believes that they're entitled to everything they think they're entitled to, deems it acceptable to stand there with her phone and take pictures of me. Now, I'm not gonna jump out my cab and say to her, I don't give you permission to take my picture. No. I'm not getting out my cab. I sat there with a smile on my face, like this, because I did absolutely nothing wrong. At which point, she then called me a fucking arsehole and every other expletive under the sun. And the thing is, what makes me laugh is if she was at the bus stop, I didn't see her. I sat there long enough with the doors open, long enough for my nan to get on the bus, and she can't walk. She's in hospital, laid up in bed. She could have got on the bus a little bit quicker than her. So once the doors are shut and once my bus has moved, I ain't opening the doors again. And I don't give a monkeys how upset you get or who you are or what you think you can do with your petty complaint. But it got under my skin and I was thinking about it for a majority of the day yesterday, and the more I thought about it, the more I was gritting my teeth like that. And it shouldn't get to me because I see people like this every day, but for some reason this one woman managed to annoy me more than others, and I don't know why. You know, I mean, I get people, as we all do as bus drivers, think they can lord it over us because apparently we're just the bus driver. We're just a thick as a plank bus driver who knows nothing, who's only good for dropping them off from A to B. Apparently that's all we're good for. Really? Huh. Well, that's interesting. Because without this thick as a plank bus driver, you ain't getting to work, are you, son? So, just think about that. You know, good morning, everyone. I will read comments in a sec. We're trying to cover as much ground as I can because I'm trying to do this in just under an hour, get to work. So, there we go, yes. And that's what got under my skin yesterday. That's what got me really, really bad, you see. Because I by and large, I actually enjoy my day. I actually have a good day most days. But it's silly little things like that that drag me down. That drag us all down as drivers, as professionals, you see. It doesn't matter the qualifications I actually do have. I happen to choose this job out of convenience and the money. Don't get me wrong, the money's not great, but it does pay my bills, you see. I could be doing a lot more work for a lot less money. So that's what I have to think of. I could be doing a hell of a lot more work for a lot less money. But I choose to be a bus driver regardless of what qualifications I have. And that's me being clever. Let's read some of these comments. Let's go top. Very good morning, Roy West. One-Eyed Vapor, good morning. Are you in the UK? One-Eyed Vapor, are you here yet? Are you here? It's too early and yet here you are watching me on YouTube. It's so peaceful, the birds chirping and you talking softly in my ears. Oh, Mac, you shouldn't have. You make me go all gooey. Can't read that, I got my glasses. Richard Hodgson. Sorry about that, I'm going mad. Good morning to you. Take your time. I'm just chilling at the... Oh, you're at the airport, okay. Well, to be honest, it can be a huge pain in the arse from time to time. Nah, you can't be a pain in the arse, you're all right. The bus man, good morning. How are you? Not yet, landing at 7:30. It's a short flight, to be fair. I actually start work at 7 o'clock, and At roughly 7:30, I'll either be at one end to start or halfway to an end to start. So that's okay. That's not a problem. So yeah, it's a shame I couldn't make it to the Vapor Expo this time, but it will be back again in 6 months. Hopefully I can get there. It's just a case of I couldn't get the time off, nor could I afford to go. So there we go. But I shouldn't let it get under my skin what happened at work yesterday. I mean, she stood there, she took picture after picture, and I literally just stood there with a cheesy smile on my face, being as nice as pie, you know. But the thing is though, when I'm pulling away, when we as bus drivers are moving a large vehicle laden with passengers, you see, and we're looking out the windows, we're checking our mirrors, we're moving off as slowly but as safely as we can, to have some numpty come crashing on the door, diverting our attention away. This is another thing that got under my skin, because people don't seem to understand this very much. People don't understand it. It's, if I'm moving, no matter how fast or slow I'm going, if you bang on the door of a bus while it's moving, you are distracting the driver. All it takes is for a driver to get distracted while he or she is moving, turn his or her head to the left to look at you crashing on the door, and for that split second, that attention is diverted. A cyclist could come down the right hand side, and all it takes is a clip, just to clip that cyclist because the driver was distracted, and that cyclist could get knocked off his or her bike, you see, cause injury or death. And that's because of a stupid woman or man at the bus stop banging on the door of a moving bus. This is another reason why it got under my skin. Because people don't seem to think logically certain things like that, you see. I mean, put it this way. If you're at a train station and you're running for the train, and you're running down the steps and the doors go beep, 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 and the doors close, and that train then moves about 2 foot forward and then stops because of a signal or whatever the case may be. You're not going to go crashing on the door of the train, because you know that train is not going to open the driver of that train, sorry, is not going to open the doors. You missed the train. And what makes it even funnier is I've got a sneaky suspicion is that this woman that crashed on my door, that gave me all of that lip, that took my picture multiple times, she could have been standing on the other side of the advertising board of the bus stop, staring at her mobile phone, more than likely. And like I said, I sat there long enough for my nan in a hospital bed to get on and off the bus while the lights were red. There was literally no excuse. And it's not like I couldn't see her deliberately, if that makes sense. I always look in my mirrors. I always look out the side door that's open. I look ahead of me. I look through the windows of the bus in front. I'm telling you, I look everywhere to make sure that I can see people coming towards me. And if you're coming towards my bus and I know you want to get on it, I'm not going to close the doors. If you're making a conscious effort to get on my bus, I will wait, hand on heart, I will wait for you. I could be 20 minutes late due to horrendous traffic, but if you're making your way to my bus and I know you want my bus and I see you, even if you're walking slow but your arm is up going, driver, wait for me, I will wait for you. I'm not going to leave you standing there. I'm not going to do it. And yet, when I do my job correctly, apparently I'm wrong. So this is what I actually want to happen. This is what I want to happen. I want this woman to complain to TfL. I do. I want this woman to say these exact words. The driver left me at the bus stop, didn't open his doors, gave me an arm gesture like that. Blah, blah, blah. And what will actually happen is the complaint will come in. I will get called in. Management won't look at the CCTV before I get there. Okay, they're not allowed to. And what will happen is I'll sit down in the chair. They'll tilt the screen so I can see it. They'll find the CCTV from said incident. And when they see that I opened the doors and I sat there long enough and I actually told her to get back on the pavement for her own safety, I will then be given a pat on the back, a firm handshake for doing my job correctly, and I'll more than likely walk out with a smile on my face and go and get a cup of coffee. That's what the reality actually is. That's what will happen if she complains, you see. And even if she sends in pictures of me like that, doing a cheesy smile, that's okay too. That's okay too. See, I do very, very little to nothing to get myself into trouble doing this job. You see, I have enough to deal with some of the controllers on my route thinking they can lord it over me and spread malicious lies to my management than have passengers who think they know better than me and I do this job for a living. Think about that. I'm not going to go into McDonald's and say to the person, yeah, cook that burger this way. It's not my job, is it, cooking those burgers? I would have assumed that they know a lot more about cooking those burgers than I do because it's their job. So when someone assumes they know better than me when I'm doing my job, I find it laughable. You know, especially when it comes to rules and procedures. TfL rules and procedures about bus driving. You know, when people try and tell me about what they think they're entitled to when it comes to bus passes, or one of my favourites is when someone will get on the bus, touch their Oyster card on the reader, and it will go boop. Not enough money. What they'll then do is turn the Oyster card over and try again, like there's money hiding on the other side. And it will go beep, beep. Nope, there's no money on that side either. So they'll turn it over again and try a third time, and it'll go beep, beep, like that. And then I'll get, yeah, I topped it up this morning. Here's the receipt. Sorry, sir, I don't need the receipt. However, I can print off a list for you to show you everything that's gone on and off of your card in the last 24 hours. Nah, mate, I don't want that. I topped it up this morning. I put a £5 on it, and I've used it here, and I've used it there. And I go, stop. Let me print this off for you. So I'll print it off the thing, right? And what it will actually say is that he was in negative credit because he used his bus saver. All right? Or his emergency fare, my bad. Right, so bus fares are £1.50. He could have had 50p shy of a full fare. He could have had just £1 on there. But that's okay because your emergency fare will kick into action. But you'll be negative 50p. So if you put a £5 on, you're only going to get £4.50's worth of credit. He could have used that bus pass a number of times, and in his head, he's thinking, I'm keeping tally of everything here. You know, I've been on the underground for one stop, I've got on 2 buses, blah, blah, blah. Nah, you used it on the underground, and you probably didn't tap out or tap in correctly. You see, and the underground's expensive anyway, and then you've got on the last bus, probably used your emergency fare again, been over an hour because you get 2 for the price of 1 in an hour, and then after that hour you have to touch on again, at which point it says no money. So please don't try and tell me that I'm wrong. And my favourite one is when people tell me that the ticket machine is lying. I love it when people tell me the ticket machine is lying. It's a machine. It runs on ones and zeros. They don't lie. You just don't keep track of your finances correctly, do you? And this doesn't get under my skin. This I find quite comical. You see, and if it is necessary, I will let this person travel. You see, if it's an emergency, I'll let a person travel. It's not a problem. If you're trying to get to a school to pick your kids up, I'll let you travel. You know, if you've got a hospital appointment and, you know, you're not pulling my leg and you've got a genuine letter that says, Mr. Braithwaite, St Thomas's Hospital at 8:30, and it's about 8 o'clock and you can't walk and you've got no money, I will take you there. I can't guarantee you'll get back, but I'll take you there. And if an inspector gets on the bus, I will try and work my charm to let you get off of it, although I can't guarantee it'll work. But I'll try. I'm not a complete arsehole, believe me. But when I'm moving the bus and my doors are shut and I'm indicating and I've checked my mirrors and pulled away, if you come crashing on my door, you have a better chance getting on my... No, you need me this... Yeah, if you come crashing on my bus when I'm moving it, you have a better chance getting a wank off the Pope. You really have. You ain't getting on my bus once I'm moving it. Especially when I've pulled away and I'm at a set of traffic lights. You literally have a better chance getting a crafty tug from any Pope. And given Catholicism's rich history, is that too far from the truth? I think not. And for any of you Catholics out there, don't get too offended. You see, I'm not a religious man, but evidence is evidence. You see, I'm just waiting for there to be a Pope at some point being accused of all kinds of nasty things, and I'll be like, I fucking told you so. It is what it is. So it's disgusting, but it is what it is. It's what we come to expect from Catholicism, is what it is. But either way, I'm going off on a tangent here. So yeah, so yesterday I was annoyed. It got under my skin. It pissed me off. And I woke up this morning and I thought, I need to vent about this. I need to vent, I need to talk about it, because I'm probably going to get a public complaint. I'm probably going to have it brushed under the carpet anyway. You know, I did actually want to have another conversation about work and what I'm going through at the moment with controllers, but I'm not going to do that because they have a job to do, and as much as I don't like it, you know, it is what it is. They're wrong, but it is what it is. Anyway, it is the 3rd, it is Friday, it is May.